Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace where I have a page. This here is a concept that would, if it became a reality, would remove most or all prostitution from these cities, primarily in the inner cities. It would remove it. It would remove these X-rated movie theaters, I guess is what they call them. It would remove adult bookstores, and it would make the downtown areas of these most major cities like LA, New York, Miami, San Antonio, Dallas, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Denver, and so on, and make them more family oriented. It would also reduce crime. It's relatively simple, and I don't know if I'm really the first person to come up with this idea. I'm sure it's been considered, but it's one that should really be, our politicians should really consider and enact if possible, so as to clean up our inner cities or cities where these uh, strip clubs and places like that operate. Because a lot of families can't go into certain areas of the cities anymore, or haven't been able to for a long time because of all this going on, and with it brings a lot of crime. Simply put, all you really need to do is for each city to have a zoning laws that require these places to be just outside the city in a secure area, kind of like in a fenced off military base. I mean, not literally on a military base, but like it would be on a installation where they all exist in one place. They would be fenced in. They would have guards at the gate to make sure everybody coming in and out is of age. And as far as the prostitution, I don't really believe in legalizing that, of course. But if they're not going to really, if they don't have any way to crack down on it and really put an end to it, this is the place to do it at then. And you can also this would be a good way to keep minors away from this stuff, and a good way to keep the criminal element out of it as well. Because the fact of the matter is that if you can put all of this in one place, fenced off, you can also police it better. The women that come in there to do their thing, would have to have HIV tests. It would put the pimps pretty much out of business. That's for sure. Again, if they do it right, if they regulate it and enforce all the laws, this would pretty much put the pimps out of business. I call them slave masters because that's what these scum is. Pimps are, they're nothing but slave masters. They're no different than people who owned slaves before before the Civil War. This would be as far as I'm concerned, this would be the best way to go about it. And so if people want to come, or primarily men, of course, want to come see this stuff, they can come here. And the other idea behind this is to make it next to impossible for people like the Green River Killer to prey on these prostitutes. You have to understand that prostitutes are easy prey for these sick type of people who have sick minds like that. And like I say, the Green River Killer, he preyed pretty much on prostitutes, went and picked them up and then murdered them. Here, it would be policed. There would be people, police on the property to make sure everybody stays safe and to make sure these animals, like the Green River Killer, can't come into these places and commit their crimes. That is the one benefit from that. And again, the biggest benefit of all is that it will start cleaning up the cities where families can return, can do business in the downtown areas and not have to deal with prostitutes on the corners, pimps, and the crime that goes along with it. The cities would, of course, have to really crack down on the prostitutes and really put them away for long periods of time if they continue to operate down there. And if they catch these pimps, to me, a pimp should receive a minimum of 10 years in prison if caught, because what they're doing is no different than slavery. These women are beaten and sometimes murdered by these pimps, and these are the scum of the earth. Let's face it. If you oppose slavery, then you ought to be opposed to any kind of pimp, people who control these women to make money. What's the difference between that and slavery? Think about it. So anyhow, if you like the idea, you ought to pitch this to your congressional representative. You ought to pitch it to your mayor, to your county commission. And they need to start cleaning these cities up so that families can return and businesses can start making a profit or do more business. You know, the honest businesses, you know, the stores, fast food places, the whatever. But they have to really crack down on a lot of these places and put them out of the city, away from the children, away from people who don't like this kind of garbage. That's the only way it's going to ever, these cities ever going to begin to recover from within. You know, it's bad enough that most inner cities have been deserted and businesses have left. And this is one, not only, but just one of the reasons why they've left. And it's just time for the county commissions, the city commissions, the mayors, Congress, the states, the governors, to crack down on this and move these places out of the city. You want to operate a business like this, you got to go somewhere else. And it's going to be in a secure area where it can be policed and a place to keep out these weirdos who end up committing crimes. So anyway, if you like the idea, please pitch it to whoever you feel would listen. And you can help clean America up and make the inner cities, the cities as a whole, a little bit more family oriented and family friendly. That's the only way you're going to do it. Thank you for your time.